Well, good evening and welcome to Talking Leeds Plus, because everybody has a plus these days. And we're doing a bit of a match reaction show here in response to Leeds' 3-3 draw with Portsmouth. And good evening to the one and only Mr. Gerry McNamee. Good evening, Gerry. Have you recovered, sir?
Oh, it's just, what could have been? Could have been, what a story we could have had. The great redemption, the resurrection, and it sort of half was. Oh, how did he miss that at the end? Oh, that could have been, could have Grace come back. Listen, first game of the season, up against a team who were 10-1 to win today, Portsmouth, and we were odds on. Great chance to start the season with a flourish. Hit the post 4 times, 3 times in the first 10-15 minutes. Somehow, I'm looking at the stats. Somehow we ended up 3-3. They had 6 touches in our box. That's
God knows how many we had. It was just complete opposite, wasn't it?
Too many would have allowed that. But yeah, it feels disappointing when you've started so well. Your favourites up against a team promoted who they weren't very good. They were pretty poor. They were a League One standard. But fair play to them, and I have to say, fair play to their support. That's top-notch supporters. They made a lot of noise, travelled a long distance early, and I give them a lot of credit for that. They were really good. And I heard the best chant of the season, which has not won it. We're not very good, are we? Or no, we're not that brilliant. That was it. We're not that brilliant, are we? And I thought that was genius, and it summed it all up. So disappointing. nice to be on, Arron. Nice to be on with you. And,
yeah, it's likewise as well, Jay. But I must have said, I just want to go back to what you said there. That first 20 minutes for Leeds United.
Yeah.
For me, obviously, we're a little bit unlucky with the crossbar and stuff, but
yeah,
there was some good football, wasn't there, for the first opening 20 minutes today?
Oh, it was beautiful. I mean, some of the passing. Dan James looks on fire. He really does. I'm really looking forward to seeing Dan James. The movement, the passing. We had I remember the sequence. We were getting corners. I mean, Gruev. It's 183 goals corners since we scored, something like that. And Gruev
we don't do corners, do we, Gerry? We don't do corners.
He was delivering them today, and Ampadu's one. He headed into the ground. Any other day goes into the net, bounced off the post. There was Willie's shot. We seem to always hit up rather than at. That one hit, and then there was the free kick from Gruev, which moved, and he thought, I must. And then we get a penalty. I had Pascal Strike. I always back to centre half. Pascal Strike was 9-1 today to score first goal. And they must have known he was the penalty taker, but you thought, here we go, that's the goal. And like last season, that time we took our foot off the pedal. We just seemed to slink back a bit, and you thought, we getting there was some robust challenging going on there. They were out to do damage. One of their players got booked earlier, and you thought, they'll get the red card. We'll steamroll them here, and somehow. It's 1-1, and you think, how did they get that? And you look at it, our defence went to sleep. Right side of our defence went to sleep, and Meslier, I have to say, was poor. He shouldn't be letting a goal like that in. And it's 1-1. You think, oh dear, how did that happen? But we'll still win this. And then I have to say, a cracking goal for the second one, 2-1. And we're going to half time. I think, hang on, we've hit the post 3 times. We've had X amount of corners. They've had none, and they're 2-1 up. I think that it was ridiculous, but. It was really disappointing. I don't know what you thought on that.
I completely agree. I think Meslier was a little bit shaky for me at times today. Yeah. I think his distribution wasn't on point as well. And I know last season he was really criticised for his distribution. I just want to talk about Jayden Bogle. How do you think he was today? Because for me, brilliant coming forward, but defensively, I don't know about you, but I thought, what have we got here? What have we got ourselves in for?
He was asleep for the goal. It was his side. Although he could have had 4 assists today with some of his movement. Did he play that ball through? There was a brilliant ball was played through, I think. It might have been for the Dan James penalty. They all mix into one. Yeah. But some of his passing was good. But we when they went forward, we seemed to a couple of times just panic a bit. And there was no need to panic. But he'll settle in. I noticed at one stage in the first half, I thought, Fairbo's gone walkabout, but then I realised the 2 full-backs
switched.
Yeah, where's Fairbo gone? Where's Wally? Where's Fairbo? Who did okay today, in fairness to him.
He did. I was quite impressed with Fairbo. I thought he was brilliant.
And a strikes back to, I think, his best. He was lucky. He had been booked, which for a bad tackle on him, I thought. And he nipped later on. I thought, he got away. The referee could have pulled the card out more today than he did. But I thought Rodon again, always good at the back, but his distribution was poor today, which he'd been better at and going forward. And I noticed a few comments of this. Ampadu was sitting too deep. We were too close together. I know. Gruev was getting forward more, but the two sit in midfield. And I was really impressed with Rothwell when he came on. He was only on 5 or 10 minutes, and he got the ball. He looked around, and he was making incisive passes. And I think he's definitely knocking at the door. But Gruev, he was okay. And the free kick and the set pieces on another day would have set up an awful lot more goals, and he was unlucky. But at least the corners are getting into the 6-yard box.
Which is a change compared to last year, isn't it?
Yeah,
because we just couldn't get him in anywhere near it.
That's it. And I thought Georgie started well, but I was surprised with the substitutions today. I thought he was doing those mazy runs, but they were just clattering into him, and it wasn't working. And I thought he was the one that should have been subbed. I was surprised we brought off Nonto, and Nonto was really getting them going. And Dan James, when he got the service, he was motoring. Almost hear that racing car noise when he goes. And I thought we lost something there, and for that vital bit. And it's when they got their penalty, which I thought was. I've looked it back, and I thought it started outside the box. It probably was a foul, but he started pulling them outside the box. But it was given. You thought you were shaking your head. You couldn't believe this. They had 0 corners, 6 touches in the box, an XG, which I don't normally look at XG, but it's quite. I'm looking at my phone here to XG of 0.89, and we had 3.2. Shots on target 10 against 4. Big missed chances 4 against 0. It's just 39 against 6 in the box, and they've a penalty, and all of a sudden 3-2, and we're losing this game. So when we get the equaliser, we were bemoaning the substitutions, but Pirro set it up for Arron, and he took it well, in fairness to him. And you thought, brilliant. I'm delighted for him, because I won't boo my own players, except Weston McKennie. He deserved every boo he got when he was with Leeds. But I thought, he had mixed reaction coming on, but he was trying hard. I thought he tried hard, and he took it well. And then the story could have been to get 2 goals, and I've looked at it, and it was a poor miss. But he was in the spot, and I'm not going to slag him off. He scored a goal. He's come back, getting a lot of flack, and probably deservedly, because he walked out. And let's not beat around the bush, but he's back in a Leeds shirt, and I think there's a player in there, and he's not a bad player to have, and I think he'll be an asset to us.
I completely agree. I think with Aronson as well. I think with him, I just need him to stay on his feet with Aronson. But I think I'm delighted for him, though. Like what you say, getting the first goal, especially the first game of the season, which he could have taken an extra 2 points for us, and rather than coming away with 1. But I think it was important for him to get going and get started with his tally for Leeds, and hopefully he will score many goals. For me, I think he needs to start in the cup. In midweek for me, does Harrison get some minutes under his belt? What did you think to Matteo Joseph though up front though for Leeds this season? I thought that's a big call playing him from the start. I thought he would have been on the bench.
Well, I think he's earned. I expected the same team that started last week to be today, and it was. And I think he's earned it with this pre-season and the way he finished parts of last season. Again, he's a big unit, and he's very physical, and he's not knocked off the ball. I've seen him when he was over in the corner, flagged second half. He was surrounded, and he still won the corner. He should have kept that one down, really. Again, someone hitting it high, just in the second half. He needs a goal, but I think he deserved to start, and I hope he gets a run, because he gets a few goals, this lad. I think he's earned his chance. But we got Pirro knocking on the door there, and Bamford. They need to step up as well. Bamford, come on, he does his usual, be a nuisance. He didn't really get enough time to do stuff. But do we need another centre forward? We always need another centre forward. We want more players, don't we? But I think he definitely earned his chance. And if a bit of luck today, he could have got a couple of goals. But he's not afraid to have a shot, and I like that today. A couple of times we thought, oh, pass. He had a shot. And, they'll go in, as we've seen with Portsmouth today. The rumours doing the rounds was that Raksaki is signing for us on loan. From I think Tony DeRiga was in the Bremner suite today, and he said that was going. And I remember watching him when he was I watched the highlights of the FL, and when he was on loan at Charlton a couple of seasons ago, he was banging them in. He looked really, really good, and he made a couple of appearances for Palace last year. So on the wing, and Jonathan Rowe wasn't in the Norwich squad today. Whether he's
no, the rumours are he refused to play. Apparently,
that's all right. I mean, if it was our player, we'd be really angry. But the fact that he might refuse to play, he's coming to us, still fair play. Yeah, that's probably a sign that he definitely has a way out, whether it's us or Marseille. But he's got great stats. He's 12 goals last season and 30 odd appearances. So. Yeah, we probably need. I suppose today, if we'd won 6-0 and everybody's saying everything's fine, maybe it's just showing that we're not the finished article yet. There is room. There is a lot of room for improvement. I think we reverted back. It felt a bit like the end of last season where we were a bit pedestrian. If the subs came on the 70th minute, where maybe they should have come earlier, though we started the second half like a train. But he's going to come. He's going to come under pressure. The Leeds fans were expecting a lot, and we expected a lot today, especially. So I'm not saying anything wrong with that, but he was disappointed, and we can't let too many of these go. But hey, there's only the 135 points to play for, and we've seen
45 more games to play, isn't there, Gerry?
We're struggling. Yeah, we saw it last year, and we were the worst days last year. You can come from anywhere, and don't go in the first game of the season. Mad things happen. I remember a few years ago, was it Colchester beat Norwich 7-1 in the first game of the season, and Norwich won promotion. That was the year we were in League One. So funny things happen. So we got a point. We could have lost it, and we could have won it. So in the end, I was coming out thinking, could have been worse.
It could have been worse, couldn't it? So what with the transfer window still open, then, Gerry, what do you think, based on what you've seen today? What do we need still to come through the door, other than a winger? I think we do need, to replace some of them, because I think when you look at the bench, Arron come on and scored a goal yesterday. It was a good goal. He got, he needed that, but we still missed that little bit of width, didn't we? When with James and Nonto coming off, and you could tell, couldn't you, today that we need another winger, don't we?
Yeah, I think there's going to be movement before the end of the transfer window. We know what happens in the last week. We could lose someone like Willie. Could happen. The wingers coming in and Road, probably a central midfielder as well. A number 10, another one if we have any. Georgie's not anything. He's just Georgie, isn't he? And he's brilliant. He's brilliant on his day. Fullbacks, definitely covering fullbacks. I don't trust Wilbur. I think he's going to go. I think he's biding this. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but he's back and he's got a squad number. But I don't. Listening to the press conference the other day, I think Farke wasn't saying he's definitely staying. He's up for the fight. I don't know. So I think fullbacks. And because I like playing Championship Manager, I want to sign at least 7 more players.
What about Melia, though? Would you say it's time for a change with him? Because I know that I was listening to Radio Leeds on the way home. A lot of them were saying, "Oh no, Melia needs to go," and following back up on Twitter afterwards, saying, "Oh, we've had enough of Melia." But I think for his age and his appearances, yes, he's made a couple of mistakes. But he's a young lad, isn't he?
I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's our number one. I worry about Carl Darlow and what was seen of him. I remember that at Salford last year, he wasn't brilliant, but bring on Alex Cairns. I think we're okay. We got three experienced strong here. Melia, that was poor today, but I don't think that's changing. I don't see him going anywhere. Centre half. Do we need anybody centre half? We've got. If Uber does stay, we got him. Got Debeo who stepped up. And you got Ampadu if need be. You don't want to midfield. I think
with Ampadu, though, I think he was phenomenal today. I think he was by far on that pitch the best player for Leeds United, in my opinion, today.
How did we get him for 7 million? How is he not a Premier League player? And he's gritty and he's getting stuck in. And there was a few challenges. And I said the referee let a few go today. There was a few. Portsmouth knew what they were doing, but it was a few tough challenges, and Ampadu's up for the fight. He definitely is. He's got this tendency, the Pontus Janssen syndrome, I call, where he goes down like you think he's out for the season, then he gets up again. So we always get a bit of that. Yeah. But he's a fantastic player, and rightly so. He's captain. That's good to see Pascal back today. He looked in control. I had no problems with him, and he's the penalty taker. None of this rubbish about who's taking it. obviously was designated. Hence, the bookies heard that as well, didn't they? So I always back the centre halves. But 9-1 centre half, that was ridiculous. But what can you do?
Well, a centre halves never really score, do they? To be fair.
Well, ours didn't last year. Again, I backed Ampadu and Rodon all last season, and the only time I missed because of Wi-Fi was the game at Peterborough in the Cup, and he scored twice. But Rodon needs to get a goal. You know, he needs to be, more, I don't know, more positionally, more forceful in that box and getting behind it. But the crossing for the corners today were on point. The set pieces look better. Gruev definitely the man to do that. And I think we'll probably see now on Wednesday the bench, the guys on the bench getting a run, and we see the League Cup. You know, it's a dull game, Middlesbrough. It'd be nice to have an away game at some ground we've never been to, but it'll be a run out for those and put their name on the shirt. I still think we'll probably start with the same team next week. I can't say anybody had a poor game today. It just disappointed as a performance, went a bit limp at the wrong times.
Yeah, and you just want it, don't you? Expect to start the season, new momentum. You want to really put a marker down on, the start of the season. We can go in here, get 3 points, and move on. And that's it. Didn't happen, but again, you've got to give them credit for actually rescuing a point. And I know we should have, could have, all that scenario with Aronson, should have, could have, buried it or whatever. Yeah. We should have come away with 3 points. But I think Portsmouth made it really difficult for us, if I'm being honest. You know, that they sat back, they dug in. I think the referee was poor, in my opinion, today. I don't think he led a few games. I don't know. You saw the yellow card for Rodon. I just think, what the hell?
Yeah. He could grab the wrist. It wasn't even a stop and a challenge. I thought he'd actually got the ball. I thought, well, okay, maybe if it's a foul, let's book him. Yeah, it was a bit odd. Bonnie Langford's lad was Oliver Langford. Yeah, it was good. The thing that really annoyed me today most was the car parking's gone up £2. You know? And we go to the Bremner Suite. The pies were a disgrace. They came in a box. Came in a box, and I think really, I wrote Angus Kinnear last year about the food in the Bremner Suite because we get a free pie and a pint. It's part of And he said, we maybe need to up our game, and he just took the piss out of us today. Everybody to a man was, never mind the result. It's the pies. You need to do better.
So what was up with the pies, Jerry? Because
we used to get sort of a pucka pie type thing.
Yeah.
If you get those apple strudels or something in McDonald's, which are the heat of the center of the earth or something like that, and they just came like that. I reckon they've got a container of pies in, and they've got to flog them. They put a bit of paint around the walls and maybe in the toilets, but £2 on the parking's a bit much. Maybe they might say that's Leeds City Council, but £8. I thought that was tight. I expected maybe £7, and the programme's gone up in price, so
has it? Bloody hell.
Yeah. I think it's £4, and was it £3.50 or £3? And I just think Red Bull and all these guys, there was too many Red Bull little minivans.
But did you get a free can of Red Bull, Jerry?
No, I don't like.
I did.
Yeah, I'm not been doing that, but I just think, come on, look after the fans. You got all this money, 49ers. You know what fans are like. If they give something back, you Yorkshire lads, you like a bargain. And I don't know like the rest of the ground whether they put prices up or did end, but
well, I could say that the cop toilets are exactly the same as they have been for the last 15 or so years. They haven't changed, and they do need to have some attention to it. But
we, it's those things that annoy, but only annoy if you don't win. If you win, everybody's happy. So, but 49ers. Red Bull, all those people, Angus especially, if you're listening, Angus, think of the fans. We're the people who go every week, and don't just squeeze us all the time. You got enough money. £2 in the car park and shit pies. Excuse me, crap pie is
Sort it out, Angus. Sort it out.
Sort the pies out.
And while I'm on it, sort it out, Angus. Just put some more air dryers in the gents' toilets in the cop, please.
Just basic stuff.
And just basic stuff, and just sort it out. Just a clean would be nice. Very big. Yeah, it was good. But Colin said he enjoyed his pie today. So,
well, depends where you were, Colin. Yeah, I'm not a pie connoisseur, but I knew that was cheap. Yeah.
Cheap stuff. They need to sort it out, Leeds.
You don't know who we are, do they?
No, but the thing is, though, we bought that roller coaster, don't we, Jerry? And we're back on it, and It's the start of the new season.
Yeah.
We've come away with a 3-3 draw. We've come away with a point. It could have been nothing. It could have been doom and gloom. We could have had I think you said, didn't you, before we came on, the Fark out is trending on Twitter. And you think, God, why? But do you know what? I think the main thing for me to take away from this, and for people who are listening, it's the start of the season. The defence is going to take some time to gel, especially with Bogle, Rodon, and Strauch. Strauch hardly played last year. Meslier questionable, but it's going to take a little bit of time to gel. It's going to take just that little bonding time, and it will come. And I think, for the first 20 minutes, it was quite impressive. I thought, hey, we mean business here, and if we can replicate that, do that 20, 30, 40, and get that built up over time, I think we'll be all right this season.
Yeah, that first 10 minutes we were unplayable. It was really good, and it could have, if two of those goes in, different story. Fine margins, as we know.
Yeah, and that's the championship for you, isn't it? That's what they always say.
Up to West Brom, Middlesbrough on Wednesday, which is either way, whatever happens, and West Brom next week. Who I think they've won today. Tricky games coming at West Brom, Sheffield Wednesday away, and then Burnley and Hull at home. Hull and Burnley in that order. Tricky games, really tricky games. But we showed last year we're as good as anybody, and as you say, we settle into it. There'll be a few more ins and outs before that. When the Premier League announce their squads, there'll be surplus players, there'll be movement. Then I'm sure. I think Tony Dorigo said today, he asked the main guy recruitment, the one who sounds Norwegian, I can't remember his name, was it? He said, Tony asked him, what are we doing transfer when? He says, I'm not telling you anything. Nothing escaped. When it happens, you'll hear about it. So all these guys in the know, with 2 followers, and done deal. It's not.
And it's a complete change, isn't it, from seasons before when we kind of know who's coming in, and fair play to Leeds, because with Rothwell, I think that was just literally done within an hour or two, wasn't it? And it was signed and done. So fair play. It's different, isn't it, for us, and we've got to get used to it. But it's probably the right way to do business, isn't it, for Leeds?
It is. Yeah, and there'll be. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a couple in this week, and just hope we hold on to what we've got now. Willie's the one I worry about, but I think
it doesn't worry me, Gerry, because I think with what Leeds did last year, I think this time last year they were holding out for that 30 million quid, weren't they? And I can't say Everton was sniffing around, putting cheeky 20 million pound bids in. He spat his dummy out and all this blah 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 blah. But realistically, who's going to pay 30 million quid for him? I don't think anybody would. No. It's the same for Ruter. We paid a lot of money for him. Who's going to pay that 40 million quid? I think with Ruter, it's just that he just needs that. He's got the X factor, but he's just got that little bit more. He just needs to give and work on that final pass, or just have a shot, man. That's all he needs to do. Yeah,
and so I said it last week as well, that sometimes when he gets into the box, maybe one touch too many, but when he gets on a run and that, you think, how did he do that? Amazing feet and all that. Willie took his goal well. He got into the box. He could have had one in the first half where he turned inside the defender and shot, and the keeper saved. He hopefully he's happy. I always think Willie was, after last year, was always a bit, he stayed, but he was always a bit, not really engaging with some of the fans sometimes. But I hope he's a fantastic player.
Yeah, I think he will, because I don't think he'd dare try a stunt what he did last year. If I'm being honest, I don't think he'd dare do it, because if he did, it would be probably the last thing he'd ever do.
Won't get a second. Mark said that last year. Won't get a second chance. Yeah, my other half, her input into the game today was she's a hair and beauty, and she wants to do Farke's hair for him. She said that all last season. His hair needs to be done differently, and he needs to wear a different coat. So that's as good as analysis that I've heard today.
Fair enough.
I can't talk about any partners, but the centre partner said she could do something, knock it back a bit to the side, a bit of gel on the front. Yeah, come on, don't like that.
Well, I can't comment, because last year you could say I'm losing my hair. And that's being a Leeds fan, isn't it, if I'm being honest?
You got playing. This time last season I had an afro. Anyway, there you go.
Well, that was brilliant, Joe. Thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully we'll do a couple more this season.
We'll do,
to have you on. You're a good laugh. We like you, Joe.
I can bollocks all day. I've got a degree in it.
Well, there we go. Hopefully, Gerry, what do you think then for the Middlesbrough game? Quick
Who knows? It'll probably go to penalties or something stupid. We could lose it. It's in the grand scale of things, it's not important, but winning's a habit. So of course we want to win. It'd be nice to see Luke Ayling. And I heard some of his stats from the second part of last season. I think it was Johnny Cooper up to said he'd got the most assists in the second half of the season. And it's great to see him. I think Borough, they have to do something this year. I think their manager, they've given him plenty of time, but I think they've got to push on. There's a lot of teams like Borough, Hull, Burnley. I think Sheffield United they've made some decent signings this year. They're going to be difficult. I think the teams that have come up will struggle, even Portsmouth. I know Oxford won today. I think Norwich, they've lost a lot of players.
Yeah, they have, and hopefully another one could leave and join us.
Yeah. And then there'll be somebody stupid who'll come out of nowhere, like I don't know, Cardiff or Sunderland, Bristol City. Sunderland won at Cardiff today. That was interesting. There'll be some, but it's going to be the same old, same old. We're gonna. It's championshipy. We got to ground results out. We probably say we look back and this was a point we probably won today, and considering it was the 95th minute, and could have been 3 in the 97th. But hey, that's the way it rolls, and it evens itself out, and we'll get something back again. But we're on the treadmill again, lads.
Yeah, we've boarded the roller coaster. We're
on board.
We're on board and ready for the season ahead. Well, thanks, Gerry. And don't forget as well, give us a like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. You can listen to us again on your, just ask your smart speaker to play Talking Leeds and it comes on, believe it or not. It's quite weird. So there you go. Right. We will see you again for the next one.
Good stuff.